Welcome back. Today we're going to be making a crazy follow along picture. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because I want you to guess. So we're going to start with two circles. I'm going to put one circle here and another circle next to it. And these circles should be in the upper left-hand corner. So there, if that's an L for your left-hand corner, kind of put them in that general area. All right, now I'm going to make a curvy line. And my curvy line is going to start right about here, and it's going to curve up and down a little bit, around and back like that. All right, make that curvy line. And now I'm going to do one more shape. It's going to be a triangle. Just like that. Now, before we move on, I want to talk about two things. Number one is line. A line is any point that starts someplace and moves anywhere else and ends. I could have a curvy line or a straight line or a zigzag line. Any one of those could be a line. The next thing we're going to talk about is the second element of art called shape. Shape is any time a line starts in one place, goes somewhere else, and ends right where it started. It could be a square, it could be a triangle, it could be a circle, but anytime a line starts somewhere, goes somewhere else, and ends up back where it started, you have a shape. And those are our first two elements of art, line and shape. So you can see in our demonstration already we've used, yes, a line and three shapes, two circles and a triangle. So we're going to continue here. We are going to do a couple more lines. I'm going to start one line here and another line here, like that. Now I'm going to do two more lines, and I'm going to start one here and one here. Good. Now I'm going to do some shapes. I'm going to put a little circle here on the end of this line and another little circle here on the end of this line. Another little circle on the end of this line and another little circle on the end of this line. Good. Now we're going to do two more little circles. We're going to do a little circle up here and a little circle right here. We're going to do a couple little more lines. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Now, don't say it out loud. Guess in your head what we might be making. Okay, keep it in your head. And now we're going to do the last line. This line we're going to make so that we have a wide body for our creature. Now, this is kind of like the skeleton. If you feel on the back of your neck, you feel some little bumps, and that's called your spine. Imagine that this is the spine of our creature. And we're going to put the skin on. We're going to start up here. And we're going to put the skin around its nose and around its eyes and head and down onto its arm, around its toes. Now on the belly, make sure that you give yourself some space because we're going to do some coloring on its belly in just a minute. So you want to make sure that you leave yourself a big enough space to put some designs on. Maybe make a nice big tail. And we'll start the other side and do the other side. There's his nose and his head, his arms into his toes, his arm, and then the belly, and the fingers. And there. Now we've got the belly of our lizard and we can see that it is indeed a lizard. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take some oil pastels. Oil pastels, as you know, are going to come in one of our little boxes. And please keep the oil pastels in the middle of your table so we can all share. And we're just going to take a bunch of different colors and make some patterns. So wherever you want to, you can make a bunch of different patterns. I'm just going to flip my paper over real quick to show you a pattern. A pattern is anytime something repeats itself. So maybe you have some wavy lines that repeat itself. Maybe you have some little X's that repeats. Maybe you have triangles that repeat, a shape that repeats. Okay? Anything that repeats is going to give us a pattern. So I would like you to take the moment now to fill in some patterns on your creature. I'm going to start with my eyes, and I'm going to do a spirally line on my eyes. I'm going to take some dots on his front shoulders. I'm going to change my color, and if you get to the point where you need to kind of peel off some of that paper, do that. I'm actually going to put like little lines going down his spine. And you can use whatever colors you want. This is a free choice for the colors. What I do want you to be doing is using either lines or shapes to make pattern. Okay, I'm going to use a dark green here, and I'm going to put some little lines on his head. And I'm going to put some little dark green dots right behind his eyes. Okay, and then I'm going to take another red here, and I'm going to do some curvy lines along the outside of his belly. I'll get a little purple, darker purple, and do some little swirl here. Another little swirl here. And I'm going to get a peach color and do a swirl inside his hand. And just make those, and then I think I'll do some little X's right down here on his tail. Just making pattern and playing with pattern. Okay, now that you've got that all the way finished, I would like you to get your scissors and cut out along the outside edge of the line. So remember, with scissors, you're always cutting away from yourself, and if you get to a curved part, you turn your paper to match your scissors. Notice how my scissors are pointing straight away from me, and my paper is turning as I cut. Try your best to get in. Sometimes if you can't get into a little spot like that, you can cut part of it and then start from the other direction and curve into that little small area and take that little extra piece away. Alright, but if you can curve in and then kind of turn your paper and curve out again. If you can do that, that's great. Okay, if not, that's fine too. Either way works. But just follow that line. Cut right on the line. Show me your best cutting skills. Do the best you can to not go over the line or not cut pieces off. Because we're going to take this and we're going to glue it onto another piece of paper when we're done. Okay? So take the time to finish off your fingers like that, and take that, do a really careful job. And Mr. Lundgren, at this point you could probably fast forward this just so the other students could see what it should look like when it's done. Good, so when you get that done, give me a thumbs up so that I know you're ready. Great. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this Follow Me Gecko and we're going to glue him right onto this black piece of paper like that. So get out your tap and glue bottle, and remember the tap and glue bottle has a little button at the top, so you're going to have to tap it on the table, and then if there's a little chunk on there, pull off the little extra piece of glue, and then flip your paper over, use your tap and glue bottle, press down gently and squeeze hard, and just put some bunny hops on the back. Put one little bunny hop row on each leg, one right down the spine, and a couple on the head. Just like that. And rearrange your Follow Me Gecko onto the paper so that it fits. Just like that. Alright, hold it down so that it gets properly glued on. And then make sure that once it's dried and once there's no glue blobs squishing out from underneath, flip it over and take your pencil and write your first name. My name's Mr. Lundgren. And your teacher's grade number and then your teacher's name. Like that, so that we can clearly see what grade you're in and what your name is, so that when we photograph these for our portfolios, we know who the picture belongs to. And that's how you finish the Follow Me Gecko oil pastel drawing.